channel. My name is Sam from the Beauty In It Reseller, and I am a part-time reseller on eBay and Poshmark. And today I wanted to belatedly go over my January sales and talk a little bit about some of the stats that I saw from the month. I'm going to share my sales from the month of January 2022 and kind of talk through what the metrics mean, what I'm seeing, and what my goals are to kind of improve moving into February and beyond. Alright, so starting off for sales, for the month, I am a part-time reseller, so these numbers may be maybe a little bit lower than you've seen on some other channels. Maybe they're a little bit higher than you were expecting. But for gross profit on eBay and Poshmark, I made $4,080.39. And what happens is that when you start reporting on gross profit, you're not really taking into consideration the cost of goods, the fees that each of those platforms has, and also taxes. For the sake of the month's reporting, I am not going to include taxes because that will be at the end of the year, but I will be removing the cost of goods, the cost of shipping, and the cost of fees from my net profit. So taking a look at that, what you really get out of the $4,080 in sales is actually $1,529.92 in net profit. And again, that's removing fees, costs of goods, and any kind of shipping costs that I would have had that are extra. From that, I sold 70 items, and so that is quite a bit of work for a part-time reseller. That's definitely something to keep in mind if you are a part-time reseller, that shipping out 70 items while having a full-time job may be tricky to do, but I've got a good rhythm going, so I do have a system to help be able to do that. Looking at the averages of those sales is really important for me because I want to make sure that the time I'm spending on eBay and Poshmark is worthwhile, and so I do want to see some of these averages increase. I had a goal for the month to have an average net profit of $20 or more, so I did hit that goal. The average sale price for each item was $50.07, which was really great. I had some really great sales at the beginning of the month that helped to kind of push that number and make really great sales prices, and I'm not sure that that's super sustainable given the items that I have in my inventory right now. So I am mindful that I had a really strong start in January, and you'll see some of the top sales that I made helped to kind of create that average sale price. The average number of days sold counts from when I sourced an item to when the item sold. So sometimes this number's a little bit off for me because I may have sourced an item and then taken a couple weeks to actually get it listed, but the number of days will kind of start from the day that I bought the item to the day that I sold. So my average is 75. I again would love to see that number be smaller. And a couple ways that I can make that happen is to have less items in my death pile at any given time, and also to source items that are popular for the season. I've had some really great opportunities to buy items at a really low cost of goods, so I didn't want to miss out on that opportunity, but it was usually something that was not in season. And so that's just something for me to be mindful of as I continue to source, that I want to buy items that I know are going to be popular, that I'm not going to have sitting around forever unless they're going to give me a really high sale price and net profit. Next, I want to talk about gross profit and show the top 5 items that sold over the last month. The first one was a Dolce & Gabbana overcoat. I picked it up from the TJ Maxx yellow tag clearance sale, and when I originally posted it, I was not getting a lot of likes or watchers on eBay, so it was an item that I did think I was going to have to return to TJ Maxx. However, I was so happy that this sold for an offer of $650, and so this was a relatively quick sale, and so that is one of the numbers that padded both my average gross profit and also my average sales days. So this was one that I'm super happy with. The next is a couple of purple pillows. They are the pillows that are sold by the Purple Mattress Company, and so they're made out of like a squishy silicone, I believe, and have really good air ventilation. I had picked up 2 of these from a local Facebook marketplace sale, and it took me so long to get these listed. They sat in my death pile, but as soon as I got them listed, I think they sold within a couple days. So definitely one that I regretted holding off on since they were larger in size and taking up a good amount of room. But those together sold for $198. So keep an eye out on Facebook Marketplace, because a lot of people will purchase the purple mattress and the pillows will come with it, and maybe they won't want it. So that's a good item to pick up, especially if you can get a lower cost of goods. Next, we have the Time Life series Old West books. And this was something that I picked up at a yard sale. It was an entire collection of books from the Time Life series in an Old West theme. And I had looked at comps while I was at the yard sale and saw that they were selling for over $100 as a set. And so I did want to pick it up, even though I don't typically pick up books, but I had picked them up really cheap. So this ended up selling for $189 with free shipping, so keep that in mind. There was a pretty big dent in the total sale price because of shipping, but overall this was a really great sale. Next we have a Tory Burch Reva Crossbody Bag, and this was one that I picked up from Poshmark Arbitrage, and I had this from a haul that I had done of a few different items. And this ended up selling for $150, which was exactly what I was hoping to sell it for when I sourced the item. So it's always good to do your research before you buy something. Make sure that there's a good sell-through rate, and also that the comps are providing enough room for profit where you can make money off of the item after you sell it, with the fees and everything involved. Last but not least, we have a Taylor Swift Fearless Taylor's version snow globe, and this is one that I knew would sell. Again, the sell-through rate on these items was really great, and this ended up selling for $150. So those were my top 5 items that I sold within the month of January. But just because an item sells for a good amount doesn't mean that it's going to give you the highest net profit, because you have to keep cost of goods and fees in mind. So next we'll go through net profit, and actually this month you will see a lot of the items are the same. So we'll start off with the Dolce & Gabbana overcoat. This was a really great profit, both gross profit and net profit. I was able to net profit $221 from this sale, which is awesome. I was very excited about that. Again, the Time Life series books makes it into the net profit list because I got such a great cost of goods on these. I think I bought the entire set for $10 from that yard sale, and so my net profit after shipping and the cost of goods was $103.44. Also making it to the list was the Taylor Swift Fearless Snow Globe, and this one profited me $75.24. The purple pillows also made the list. We're seeing a little bit of a different order just because the cost of goods on the pillows was much higher than the snow globe, for example, and so my net profit on the pillows, even though they sold for nearly $200, was $73.65. And then lastly, I had a second snow globe that I had purchased, and the cost, or the net profit on this one, was a little bit lower because the shipping was further away, so therefore I had to pay a little bit more in shipping. So for this one, I profited $69.51. Most clothes sellers tend to see a higher number of sales on Poshmark, and so that is also the case for me. This month I saw 40 sales on Poshmark and 30 on eBay. However, you might see a higher total profit for me on eBay. So I would be interested to redo this chart and see which platform had a higher net profit for me. For category, this is an interesting section. You can see the last one there, the purple section, is for women's clothing, and that is the category that I sell the most. This chart is broken down by the net profit for each category. So I will point here. This tiny little blue section is for beauty. I sold one beauty item and it was a very low price. Next we have books. That Time Life series was the only item that sold, but you can see it's a pretty big chunk of the net profit that I made for the month. So definitely don't overlook the books section. You might find a really valuable item, and because you can use media mail to ship books, that can help to keep your fees and shipping down. This thin blue line here is for camera. I had sold a camera bag, but I do like to sell camera equipment. So maybe in some upcoming months I'll see a better profit there. This bigger blue section is for collectibles. So both of those Taylor Swift snow globes were included in there, as well as some other items. Next is home and decor. So any kind of decoration or tools would be in this section. This next purple section is for jewelry and accessories. And a good portion of that is from the Tory Burch Reva Crossbody Bag. This next section is for kitchen, and that is actually a section that I like to sell. I just didn't really see the typical sales that I would within the month of January. So I think in upcoming months that section will be a little bit larger. This light pink section here is for men's clothing. I only sold a couple items, but I do see really great profit on men's items. So it's a section and a category that I will continue to pick up. This peach section is for shoes. I actually don't like selling shoes, and it's a category that I anticipate seeing to go down over time. The time spent to clean shoes and the profit that you make off of most of them is not worth it to me. So this is a section that I'm probably going to avoid unless it is designer shoes or Nikes, something that I know I can make a higher average net profit. This thin purple line here is for sports. I believe I only sold one sporting good item. And then we've got video games. I haven't picked up video games in a while, so the sales that I made here were from items that I was able to pick up over the summer within yard sales, and I got a really great cost of goods on those. So that's an item moving into summer that I hope to source more. And then last but not least, we have the women's category, which you can see is the bulk of what I sold in January. And while I don't want to see that section go down, I think as I'm able to go to more yard sales and pick up items from different categories, the breakdown hopefully will be a little less weighted to women's clothing. So now we have the last section here, and that is for the top 5 worst sales. And actually January wasn't terrible. I had some pretty low net profit sales, but for the most part they were around the $10 to $15 net profit range. So I do want to see again that average go up. But here is what generated the lowest numbers. The one and only item that I lost money on was this Dunkin' Donuts holiday mug. As I was cleaning out my house and first started eBay, it was one of the items that I listed just to kind of get my eBay going and get things listed. I neglected to remember that this had free shipping, so I had accepted an offer and the cost of shipping ended up being more than the profit that I would have made. And so I actually lost 73 cents on this, which is okay. I would have preferred to have just donated this mug, but at the end of the day, if someone received an item that made them happy, then I'm happy about that. The next item that I kind of regret buying, it was a huge set of NASCAR items. It was a really low cost of goods, so I'm not too concerned about the loss that I'll probably see on the collection as a whole. I did sell part of the lot, which is the Bill Elliott driver, and so that had a net profit of 90 cents. Because I could receive negative feedback or a return on an item, I hate getting a low net profit because what it could end up being is a loss if that were to happen. So I'm glad it sold. I'm glad that I think I received a positive review for this, but it's not something that I will look for in the future. Next, we have a Rue 21 crossbody bag, and this actually is one that I don't mind. It was a personal item and I had listed it just to kind of, again, clear out my closet. The condition of it was perfectly fine, so I didn't think that it would lead to any issues, and it sold on Poshmark, which is a lot more difficult to return an item on Poshmark. So the profit on that one was $1.05, which I'll take. I'm happy with that. Next was one that I paid a little too much in the cost of goods. If I were able to pick up this Gap, it was a wool pea coat that was in a plaid print. If I was able to pick it up for a few bucks, if I was at like a Goodwill bins or something like that, then I think it would have been a good item. However, I did buy it from Goodwill for $6, and I ended up selling it in January, where people are really starting to think about buying for spring, and I'm wanting to clean out the winter items from my inventory. So I accepted an offer on this one, and I ended up only making $2, which at the end of the day, when I go through all of the work to take pictures and kind of store an item, that's not a great profit. But I didn't want it sitting around until the next year only to make a lower profit then. So I decided to accept the offer and resulted in a $2 profit. Last but not least, I had picked up a pair of Nike sneakers. Going back to what I said before, I don't love sourcing sneakers. There's just a lot of work into cleaning them, and generally my profits for sneakers are pretty low. This, however, was a pair that had a broken lace toggle. I didn't realize it when I was in store that it was damaged, but I didn't have the opportunity to return the item, so I was happy that they did sell and that the space within my inventory was cleared out, but I only made $2.67 on this one. So that is it for the month of January. Leave a comment below. Let me know what your top sales were for the month. I would love to know. I am sorry that this is so late, and hopefully I can get February up in a more timely manner. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know to continue with the sales reports for the month. And if you like this content, definitely subscribe. I plan to continue posting videos like this, what sold videos, as well as hauls. So if you are a reseller, I would love it if you could subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.